Look at all these bright lights.
Bright
I
lights.
see bright lights.
There are 4 lights.
So we're shooting number 240 tonight, right?
240.3
Yep.
apparently.
Right.
Yes.
Take
And
3.
We've got a cool segment for Denny this week.
Yay!
So have you
Very
seen the
nice.
Denny pictures?
The Alton
know.
and Southern.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Hi,
good
Mike.
to see you tonight.
I like your shirt.
Howdy.
Very nice shirt.
Richard's running
Whoa,
camera.
I
Hey,
had
Richard.
day job.
Yeah,
too.
wow.
Huh.
I know, right?
Yeah, for real.
I'm not so
Never
sure
go
what
home.
that is now.
Texas
if
and
it's-
Pacific.
That's
Is
a
it?
train, Mike.
Okay.
That's a steam engine.
Looks like a Berkshire.
But I guess that's Texas and Pacific Herald.
All right, guys, take 3 for show 240.
Yay.
Richard, give us a countdown.
Whatever it's doing, Richard, that's it. Yeah. That's it.
Let's do it. Let's
That's
do
it.
it.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics, with over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock. Your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com.
And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week show number 240 for July 8th, 2023. I have that memorized now. Wow, here we are shooting another show and it's 240. How did that ever happen?
I don't know.
I mean, the numbers and the viewers. Denny Yelsma was at a show today in Florida and told me that people kept walking up to him and saying, hey, I've seen you on the What's Neat show. So evidently people are watching what we're doing.
You know, people run into me in the most discreet places. I was in Marion, Illinois, and a kid that had a whole bunch of train patches or patches on him came up and just gave me a hug out of the blue.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a little bit off-putting at first, but, you know, it was great, you know.
A lot of love it.
And yeah.
His mom was very appreciative.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and she was, and she explained to me he was special needs, but apparently they watched the show and they really liked trains, and trains help
that's
him with his autism.
Yeah.
And it was just really sweet and very nice.
Right.
A little bit catching me off guard when I'm looking for chicken in the frozen section, and you know.
All right, tonight we've got with us Mike Budde sitting over here where Mike
Hi,
always
everybody.
sits. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's up?
I've got Joshua sitting right next to me.
What's up,
Joshua
everybody?
Barton.
That's right.
Hey, Josh.
Hi.
And Steve Mantia brought some models to talk about tonight. Hey, Steve.
Hello. It's good to see you.
We really appreciate the fact that you help promote the hobby through your train shows.
Yes.
We got
Go ahead.
we got Richard Bianca behind the camera.
Hey, Richard.
Right.
Hey, Richard.
It's awesome to have you running camera. You did a great job last week. You always do a fantastic job running camera for us. So this week when I was talking to Mike on the phone about show notes and different things, I said, hey, Mike, there's a cruise ship coming up the river, right? He's like,
I'm thinking,
okay,
yeah.
Ken, yeah, right.
Yeah, sure there is. What else is
Did you get any sleep last night, Ken? No, for real. This blew my mind. This is about a 300-foot long ship. It had the word Viking on it. And what an amazing model this will make for your layout. Even in N scale, this would be a great model. I will show you 44 seconds of video that I shot of this This thing was amazing. I think it was 5 or 6 stories high. Like I said, I believe it's about 300 feet long based on barge lengths, and it had to be at least 2 barges wide, so that would put it at about 70 feet wide. It's got to be built to a certain dimension
Has
to
to
fit
fit
through
through the locks.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
But this thing is huge. It was beautiful. It was white. I understand it's their flagship for the Mississippi River. It's called the Viking Mississippi, in fact, and it's a brand new ship that they've added to their line. I put a picture of it on Facebook, and some of the folks commented and said that it costs $18,000 to start in New Orleans and go all the way up, I guess, to Minnesota and turn around and come back.
Wow.
Wow.
So
It's very cool.
be a long cruise, but what an interesting, you could stop at various ports.
All these different ports. There's one here in St. Louis, Kemswick,
Kemswick,
which
yeah.
is an old rustic town, and then St. Louis. And I mean, think of all the big cities that is along the Mississippi.
Right.
So be quite an adventure, I imagine.
Yep.
Absolutely true. So what a great model. It's again, it's about trains, this show, obviously. But this show is about our layouts. And our layouts encompass everything more than just trains, right? Ships, boats. I've seen people build airports with little Piper Cub airplanes on
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I've seen people model golf courses
Yeah.
on their layouts where the putting green is, close to the tracks.
Baseball fields.
Yeah.
So everything's fair game, and it's awesome to be able to share this beautiful ship that we just looked at a few minutes ago.
I don't know how many people have room for a 300-foot cruise ship on their layout.
I don't know. That's pretty neat, though.
Let's think about that. How many 80? That's
It'd be 3 feet long.
right. Better than 3 feet.
Yeah.
You may have
You
enough
could scale
room right
it
there,
down.
Yeah.
Selective compression.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got such a wide area, just bubble out the Mississippi River over there, and you got enough room.
Yeah, put it on the list of things to do.
Do it.
Yeah, put it on the list
Number
of things to do. That's it.
1,472.
Where should that be? Behind?
Build another
Yes.
boat.
Yes, build a boat. Yes.
All right, so this weekend is a Spring Creek show in Deshler, Nebraska. I've heard from the folks that are there that so far everybody's having fun, everybody's traveled safe, and that it's a very good show that the folks out there at Spring Creek Model Trains have been putting on. I think Denny, like I might have said this before, but Denny Yelsma was at a train show in Florida today, and he had a lot of people walk up to him and say, "I've seen you on the What's Neat show." He told me that he's going to be passing out hats at the Texas NMRA show. That's going to be in the Gaylord Texan Resort Center
Very nice.
in Grapeline, Texas.
Yeah.
It's not grapevine, it's
Grapevine.
grapevine.
Grapevine, not line.
Grapevine, Texas.
Yep.
This is going to be August 25, 26, and 27 for the actual train show part of the show where the swap dealers and everybody sells products. And Denny will be handing out What's Neat hats at that show, as will we be handing out What's Neat show hats at the RPM meet coming up at the end of this month, July 28th and 29th, over in Gateway Center in Collinsville, Illinois, just across the river here from St. Louis. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of activity train show wise going in on our hobby. Now you have got another show coming up. This is something that you now have regularly scheduled, I guess.
I'm talking about my train show in
Yes,
December. Okay,
yes.
yes, we have,
have
another
two, right?
We have 2 a year in May
Excellent.
and December. But I didn't know which train show you're talking about because next weekend there's a train show in Dupo that we'll be going to set up and doing that.
What are you doing next weekend?
Yeah,
Let's see.
going over to Dupo. We've got
see
the
you
train show
there.
there, and then once August comes, shows start up again. Almost every other weekend in September and October there'll be train shows that we'll go and set up and try our sell our stuff, and that's back in the season and that. So I'm looking forward to the train show next week too. So
The
middle
Dupo
of
show's
summer.
one that Dirk puts on,
Yes, it is. Yes.
He's still
Excellent.
organizing that. Hats off to Dirk.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a
I'm glad
great
he's
show,
given
too.
it a shot here in the
Yeah.
summer, and I know he always manages a good show in that. So I hope we have a good attendance in
Dirk.
that.
Yeah, good for him.
He helps us promote the hobby.
Yeah,
Yes, he does.
absolutely.
Where's those pictures of Denny's logos? Do we have those here?
Right here.
They're right there.
That was take one when I noticed I had forgotten to print these off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Denny sent us
Third
5
Third
logos to talk about tonight on the show. Denny Yelsma at yelsmagraphics.com. I want to do this because this Southern Pacific cab forward shot is absolutely beautiful.
Ooh, that's the one HO engine that I cannot find anywhere that I would love
Intermountain
to
made it.
have. Yeah,
Rivarossi made it.
Is the
cab forward?
Forward. They are so beautiful, and you can't find it anywhere.
What a nice logo. This next one looks like the Canadian Pacific with the Kansas City Southern. I guess it's their heritage
merger?
locomotive of the merger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm showing that on the screen right now. Very nice logo. The Iowa Route, Burlington, Cedar Rapids, and Northern Railway.
That's a very
Yeah, it is.
cool shield.
Mouthful.
Yeah,
That's-
very cool.
Right? Now, Mike and I decided that this next one we're going to show you is a Texas and Pacific.
That's
It looks
what it
like
looks
a
like to me.
Berkshire locomotive
Yeah.
with the Alesco feed water heater hanging right from the top of the front of the boiler. Just an absolutely beautiful locomotive. And the last one, this is the Alton and Southern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over
I like
here
that.
on the East St. Louis side of us, they've actually
Across the
got
river.
SD40-2s running on their railroad as switchers and road engines now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, these are all stitched. This is not printed. And just give Denny a call. Call him on the phone. Check out his phone number. It's on the website at yelsma.com. And there you will find the summertime shirts like what I'm wearing with the logos and the graphics on it for our show. The apparel that he sells and stocks is Port Authority apparel, so it's really high quality. This shirt has been washed a dozen times so far, and it's survived, and it doesn't affect any of the stitching. The washer
it's
doesn't.
really-
It even survives the dryer.
Really great work that he does.
I know,
My-
right?
My jackets, my shirts, my hats, they're all very, very nice.
I know. He will be at, like I said, the Anna Murray National handing out these hats. Thank you very much. Denny's a one-man. He has been promoting our show now for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And
He
in
really
that,
has.
all the hats that we have passed out for the last 2 years at the RPM show and last year at the Anna Murray show
Yep,
here in
that
St.
was-
Louis.
That was my first interview with him.
Thank you, Denny, for everything that you've done for us. We wish you all the best, and we want to
Absolutely.
see folks call you and buy their apparel from you with their private railroad names on it and or their company apparel that they would wear, you know, for work.
And that's something that I don't think a lot of people know is you call Denny up, and if you want to do something of your own, you know, your own logo for your own model railroad.
Yes.
Right.
I
A
have
club.
Yeah, I have Fountain City Railroad shirts that he made, and he has my logo on
Nice.
hand. He made me an apron that has the logo
Yeah.
on it. That's amazing. I love working with it.
That is
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, it sure is.
All
Thanks,
right.
Denny.
Joshua, you had some stuff you wanted to talk about tonight. Let's start with you, buddy.
I do. So, you know, I have limited time with my job and what I do. And so on this limited time, sometimes it's a weird day of the week and no one else is around hanging out. And Mike and I love to go on cruises and drive around and stuff. So,
And I'm always up for a cruise because I'm retired now.
yeah. So,
I'm
so
available
so-
anytime.
So here in the last couple of years, we've compiled so many videos of us going to different model railroads and going to see stuff. And so I just kind of dumped everything into a big Mod Podge, and now I'm working through it. And we've started a new little, it's not really, I don't want to call it a podcast, but it's going to be different videos of different adventures that Mike and I take. And I want everyone to go see it. If you go to YouTube, it's going to be called Fountain City Stories because I have the Fountain City Railroad, and these are all just different stories that we're making up as we go. You know, different meetings with different people, and how many of you have ran into us in these different crazy, different hobby
Right,
stores or
right.
looking at this layout or this and that. So I'm just taking all those videos and I'm going to put them together, and that's going to be the Fountain City Stories. So I want everyone to check it out. We're on YouTube under Fountain City Stories and Facebook under Fountain City Stories. So like us and tell us how we're doing. We should have some great info out here at the end of winter. But I have a little promo video up now that everyone can check out, and we'll be adding content as we go.
Wow, very nice.
So yeah.
By we, you mean you.
Well, he's going to help me.
Yeah.
Your excellent
We'll see.
adventures.
Yeah.
Excellent
It's-
adventures.
It's fun.
Never
so.
a dull moment.
No, not at all.
Before it is, you'll have a podcast on the road. The On the Road Show.
You never
Yeah,
know.
right.
Yeah.
So it's fun to meet these people and to see these things.
Yeah.
We just went up past Peoria to Gainsburg.
No, Galesburg.
Galesburg
Yeah.
to a model railroad show, just for the heck
And there
of
was
it
a
for the
pizza
day.
place in there in that town called Buddy's Pizzeria.
Yeah, Buddy's Pizza. So
How about that?
it was
Yeah.
a neat little day trip that we got to do just because we were both off and not doing anything.
In that small little town, did people say they saw you in the show?
Nope, not there. I don't think.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds really cool, guys.
Yeah.
Steve,
Very nice.
what do you got going on? You brought some models tonight.
Okay, now, usually I bring some of my own stuff, but this is from my wife's wonderful taste that she has.
Your
She
wife
has-
did this.
She has
My-
amazing taste.
She has
by the
amazing
way.
taste. So we were at a train show a couple weeks ago, and she was out looking around, same thing we're all doing, seeing what's at the tables and that. And she saw these two unique buildings sitting there. And of course, came and asked me about whether she should buy it and that. And, of course I said no. So she went ahead and decided to buy them anyway.
Yeah.
So that's how it usually works. So she thought it was the neatest thing that you had the donut shop with the police officers sitting in front of it, and then of course right next to it that you had the weed shop with the little VW
Hippie
bus
van.
on it.
I
The
love
hippie-
your
the
wife.
hippie bus.
Yeah.
and that.
Glenda,
So-
you're awesome.
so, she bought the first one, and when she came back later on, because the weed store was gone, was no longer on the table, and she asked the gentleman if he had any more, and he thought he had sold it and that. So I guess as everybody was starting to pack up, we talked about Dirk earlier in the show. Dirk happened to go up and ask the gentleman if he had Dirk had seen it in a container in the bottom. The guy didn't know where it was, so Dirk calls Glinda over. So she comes over, and of course, she
Good job,
was able to
Dirk.
buy the other
Very
one. So
cool.
Dirk
Yeah.
flagged
Cool.
it down that way, but so they go home. They're at home now on my layout. Now, I've tried to explain to her that they're not the right scale or anything, but you know what? I've got to have some style and some pizzazz on the
Absolutely. I
decorations.
agree.
So
Yeah.
whatever my wife would like to have, that's what we've got on there. But I believe they're 3D printed buildings. We don't know anything really more about that,
They're
except
pretty
they
close
just
to HO scale.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Like I said, they were decorated, and he had only a couple of them set up like this. He didn't do anything that way. It was just strictly that she liked them,
Very
and we
inventive.
bought them, and
Yeah.
it was very cute. So we've been looking cute. I said that. So it's we've been looking to bring them here tonight and show everybody what she bought and that.
Very
So
cool. Very
That is cool. Now, what's this beautiful gold locomotive?
This
you
is
got?
the infamous engine,
Yes, it is.
isn't it?
This is the
Oh,
famous. Yes.
Yeah, this is infamous, boy.
I was in one of my closets of the many train items that I happen to have, and just a few. And I saw this sitting in the bottom, and I hadn't gotten it out in a while. And of course, I looked back in the pictures. In December of 2018, we brought this locomotive over to you because it had some damage.
Oh, this is a GP30.
35, GP35.
So you guys got to tell the story
So
now.
you tell the story
Yeah,
then.
you tell it the best.
Yes.
Usually.
I don't know how to tell the story. I wish I had video of this. He's got some still pictures.
Okay, so the bottom line is Steve brings this engine over and it doesn't work, and there's some issues with it.
It had been dropped.
It's been dropped. Some of the
On its
railing and that
front.
was bent up on the front.
The whole
Yes.
front was crushed.
So Steve,
metal was bent.
Steve, barely knowing Ken at the time, says, "Hey, do you think you might be able to give this some love and
Could I
stuff?"
fix it?
Try to
And,
fix it.
and
Yes.
Ken pretty much goes, "Yeah, let me grab it." And he grabs it and he holds it like this and he grabs his torch and he starts torching it and all these pieces start falling off.
Correct.
And
Yes.
I bet the look on Steve's face at
Yes.
the time that this happened, I'm sure his jaw hit the floor.
I could not believe it because here it is. Okay, what is this? And I was here with my father. And we both sat there and watched this.
Wow.
And I think I was more amazed with what was going on because I had multiple pieces and I thought, okay, well, a damaged engine I could maybe sell, but now that I have
Now that it's
a
a
puzzle,
kit,
kit again, I don't know if I would really
That
have
was
that.
the fastest way to dismantle the engine was to use the what's it, Barneswick or whatever torch.
Yeah, the torch.
Right? Just
Right.
light it up. The entire front end, all the steps, the front plow, the front walkway, everything, the handrails, everything dropped to the floor as the solder beads would scatter as it all dropped.
And then we took the pieces that were damaged and re-bent them with pliers and tools and a vise, and then took the resistance soldering rig and some paste solder and a little bit of flux and put all the pieces back together again in the right order, not bent anymore. And it took 30 minutes, and it was done. It was fixed.
It was fixed like magic.
I wish I had video of it.
Yeah, I know.
Here it is today.
It was very unconventional in the way I took it apart, but that was a quickest means to an end, so we could start putting it back together again.
But here's a key note.
I've done it 100
You
times.
should tell someone that you're going to do that before you just start.
He said he wanted it fixed.
Yeah. Little did I know. Now a few years that I've been hanging out here, now I sort of would expect it, but you know, then it was one of those. Oh, okay, let's see what we're going to do. Gosh, I don't know anything. Well,
you're in good
what
hands.
a surprise! Yes,
great.
I'm in good hands, and I thank you very much.
It looks terrific.
Yeah, it's been in the box about ever since, and
The thing is heavy too.
Yes, it is.
Probably weighs what, 6 or 8 pounds.
something
Yeah,
that way. So, just
Speaking of neat, did you see that truck over there?
I know. Mike Budde you had this truck on last week, and it wasn't decaled.
It didn't
right.
look like that.
No, he
at
was
all.
talking
Yeah,
about having
yeah,
it decaled.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
Go ahead
Yeah, I
and
got the decals from William Brillinger at Precision Design up in Canada, and I was able to get the decals done, and I got a cab for it. I'm going to use the the Athearn Freightliner cab, and Justin Grimm, who did this trailer, sent me a bunch of extra parts for the cab, so I've been working on that. But the trailer's pretty well done. The Vondre was a local company in St. Louis, and they were big in the 70s, which I model, and I always kind of liked their trucks, and so I'm working on this and a couple smaller trucks, straight trucks.
Does that say Fenton, St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah, they had
on there?
Fenton and then St. Louis in parentheses, Missouri.
That is
and then the
very cool.
decals that Bill made for the cab even has the street address on Rudder Road in Fenton,
no
Missouri, and
kidding.
everything. Yeah, so
No, I remember.
And
when
they-
I was little, I remember that
Right.
name. I remember seeing the truck.
Seeing those
I
And
remember all
they
the thing
were
about
bought
it.
out by the other van lines that came in there in the early
Oh,
80s.
yeah, right.
United van
right.
lines,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
south of
right
the,
there.
the Chrysler plant, across
Yeah,
the highway
yeah.
from
Yep, that's
Chrysler.
where they're.
But that's one truck I've always kind of liked since I was young, and I always wanted to build a model of it. So when Justin Grimm had this 3D moving van printed, I thought, man, that'd be perfect for this model. So anyway, I spent way too much money on it, everything, but it's worth it if it's your hobby and
Every
you like
single
When you really
penny,
enjoy it, yes,
every
that's-
red
Mhm.
penny
to have a
is
unique
worth
model
it.
like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So
That is way too cool for school
I'll,
guys.
Yeah,
I'll
for real.
try and get the
That's
cab
what's
done
neat
this
is-
week, so show it next week.
I know, right? So we've said it over and over again. The RPM meet's coming up here July 28th and 29th. I haven't decided still whether or not I'm going to get the Garden Railroad running. Maybe I'll go outside and shoot some clips of it tomorrow and show you what I'm talking about. I used the leaf blower on it yesterday and blew off portions of it. I also used vegetation killer 2 weeks ago and killed everything along the main lines. But there's at least 4 spots where the deer or raccoons or just whatever it is this week ran across and has separated the ties from the rails. So I've literally got 3 or 4 feet of just open rail and no ties, which means I'll have to get out there and unsolder the electrical ends, take a torch, the same one I use in this locomotive, and wire brush the rails clean of solder, then re-slide on brand new plastic ties, which I've shown this many times on What's Neat videos.
Man,
And then reapply jumper wires and resolder everything back into spots on 4 segments. And even if I do that, again, we run that layout. I run the layout once a year, maybe twice a year. I'm really not too sure that I am that enthusiastic about keeping the Garden Railroad, to be honest with you. It's maintenance all year long, just to keep it just looking okay. And I'm so much more into the inside layout right now of various scales, the N scale layout that we still haven't finished yet, this HO scale layout that needs to be cleaned and vacuumed in the next 2 weeks so this place is presentable when we have all the folks from the RPM meet that are going to be here that Saturday night.
yeah.
Tock,
Yep.
tick,
Tick, tock,
tock.
Put it on that
tick,
list of things
tock.
to do.
I know, right? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. And you just saw a videotape probably of the Outdoor Garden Railroad. So yeah, I wonder how I would sell all that track out there if I needed to. But yeah, we have a lot going on, and it's not going to get any slower because with that NMRA show coming up here in August, it's just going to be more activity for the hobby. And I'm looking forward to October, November when most of the folks get back into their studios, back into their basements. I know, Richard, you said that's when you plan on starting to work on your new layout, that you've got the layout room finished, and now comes winter months where you start to work on it.
I can't wait to stop there after work.
I know, right? That's awesome. So, have we covered everything tonight going around the table? What do you think?
I think so. I think so.
Think so?
This is where we're about to say, let's go run some trains. So grab yourself the throttle. The NCE Pro Cab system is the one that we use down here in the basement. I say it all the time. We got 2 radios in the ceiling. We've got 3 of these and 2 of the smaller cabs. Plus he's got his cell phone and the UWT 100 throttle that works through JMRI on the laptop in order to let this system also run with that. It simply works. I love it. It's simple to use. No buttons. Look at that. Jim Scorse and the folks at NCE, North Coast Electronics, in case you never knew what NCE means. Fantastic. It works. Thank you very much for helping us promote the hobby. So let's take these and let's go run some trains.
All right.
Yes, all right. Here we go.
All right. I know, right?
I know.
Now I'm starting to wonder if my microphone was working tonight.
I'm going to start back over.
I know.
Yeah.
No,
Here
we're
we
not
go
doing
again.
that.
Version 4.
Yeah. Action, yeah.
Scotty calls me every week and gives me an update on our sound quality.
All right, let's
All right,
hold something.
let's
I'm
go.
going to hold that.
You're going to hold
Oh,
the flower shop. Can I hold the brass?
Please do. I'll hold.
Oh my goodness.
I'll hold the
Because you
police
can fix
station.
it if you drop it.
Yeah, that's it.
I can fix it, yes. All right, guys, look at camera number 1 and smile. And that's how we do our thumbnail. Good job.
All right.
Next week, we don't have to do a show. The following week is the 22nd. That'll lead up to the RPM show.
Yeah.
The RPM show that Saturday night's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be just like it always is.
Of
Crowded,
course.
a full house.
We'll just have
So
fun.
you're going to do 7 the first day and 7 the second day again?
I'm going to try. I didn't use all 14 interviews last year.
So 10 and 10?
And Joe's actually
Or-
asking me to make the What's Neat show a little shorter. So maybe I won't do that many interviews.
Okay.
But it's still going to be a handful.
Sweet.
All right, I'll kill sound, guys. We just made it. Hopefully,
Always works out.